Hi everybody and welcome back. For this practice, you'll need a mat, a blanket, a block or two, a towel to cover your bolster, and maybe a chair. We're going to begin with Baddha Konasana, also known as bound angle or sometimes referred to as butterfly pose. Sit on the blanket so the fringe is facing away from you. Grab your blocks, your towel, your bolster, and maybe drape the bolster vertically alongside the chair and maybe on top of a block. I'm going to cover my bolster with a towel so I keep it nice and sanitary. And you can do this a few different ways. The first option is just to kind of fold forward into the bolster. Try not to slouch into the spine. Sit up nice and tall and then forward bend over the bolster. Turn your head to one side, maybe hold on to the base of the chair. I've noticed in this practice that my bolster is a little bit too far away from me, so I'm going to scoot the chair farther forward. Try that. It's still a little too low, so maybe I rest my forearms onto the chair, make sure to turn to one side. And you can always add multiple bolsters or add another block beneath the bolster as well. We'll push the chair back now and just try it with our props. So take the block in between your feet, have the second block on a higher setting in between the legs, and then drape the bolster over that second block. Again, you can kind of round the spine, moving into a more restorative pose of bound angle or butterfly, supported Baddha Konasana. Make sure you turn your head the other side and notice if that feels right for you. You can also stay there as an option. We'll keep removing props, so we'll remove the blocks. Have the bolster now horizontally in front of you. Take your legs on top of the bolster. Maybe add a block either between your feet or underneath your feet for a little added lift. Again, you can sit up tall, try not to slouch, and then just round your spine, concave chest into the forward bend. This one doesn't feel as appropriate for my body, so I'm going to try removing the blocks so that my feet anchor down and then go back into a forward fold. So you can try either of those options as well. Sit up when you're ready. You can obviously just stay upright and enjoy the same position. Or the last option would be to remove the bolster completely. Take the soles of your feet together, knees wide, maybe a block or two between your feet or on your outer thighs, or just a nice forward bend. This is one you'll see a lot in class if you don't have a lot of props, and it can be sometimes referred to as Tarasana, star pose. Okay, sit up. Try it maybe a little bit more actively, drawing your heels closer towards your groin. Lengthen the spine. And then with all that length, it might take a while, but you can get your chin towards the mat or the forehead towards the mat. And I've added a little bit of support with the chair, grabbing onto the legs of the chair for a little bit more resistance, or you can, of course, just rest your hands onto the floor. So as you can see, there are plenty of variations of this shape. You can either use the props or not use the props. This is one of my favorites for sure. So enjoy it at your leisure. When you're done, grab the outer thighs, give yourself a self-hug for all of that lovely work, restorative practice, and then come on up to seated. We'll try a second restorative pose called Upavistha Konasana, or wide-angled forward bend, also sometimes referred to as Dragonfly in the yin yoga practice. We're going to move the blanket behind us. Sit on the blanket. Again, don't slouch. Sit up tall. The fold should be facing forward, the fringe behind you. I'm going to take my bolster vertically out into the space in front of me. Straddle the legs nice and wide. Traditionally, the feet are actively flexed, but as you come into a forward fold, you'll notice that the knees and feet kind of roll inward. I'm going to add props to begin, so I'm more supported and upright. And then I forward bend, maybe turning my head to one side, holding on to that first block, turning my head to the other side, checking that out for a while, maybe lowering the level of the block so it's a little bit lower. Again, holding on to the block for support, allowing the belly to rest on the bolster, or remove the blocks completely. Just drape the bolster vertically out in front of you. Again, try to sit up for a moment and then gently forward fold. This one is so juicy. I really love this variation of dragonfly or wide-angled forward bend. Another option, of course, is to have no props at all. Allow the femur bones to roll inward, the hips go with it, maybe the arms spread wide for a full straddle pose. You can also take your arms up and overhead like Pranamasana, offering a gesture of prayer, of gratitude, of appreciation for the earth, for yourself, for the practice. Extend your arms when you're ready, sit up. Same transition, you'll bring your feet together, knees wide, and then draw your knees together. Another deep self-hug, so a quick counter pose, acknowledging yourself for all the good work you did. Sit up tall, and that's our practice. Thanks so much for joining me. See you next time.